and welcome to my channel. I am Stephanie. This is the week 35, August the 29th through September the 4th weekly wrap up. Okay, so once again, this week I got a whole bunch of packages in, so that will be in its own video. You guys will see that first. You'll see last week's package video as well before the general public. I guess I'll put this out here first for you guys, just so that you're in the know, because you guys are my paid people. I mean, you guys take a little bit out of your budgets to help me out every single month, and I appreciate that. So I figure I will let you guys know first that I am going to be stepping away a bit from the public side of YouTube. So what does that mean? That means that the only video that they're probably going to be getting every week is the sneak peek, bringing them here to the Patreon. You guys will continue to get the full out versions of the weekly wrap-ups with all the thoughts and feelings and stuff like that. That will not change. The thing that may change is that I am still going to be somewhat recording. I don't know how regularly I will be recording or anything like that, but I have some videos in the works and you guys will be seeing them first. I'll be putting them out here, and then, you know, maybe once a week releasing one of the videos or what have you. But as I get them done, as I get them recorded, I will be uploading them, editing them, and uploading them and everything like that here for the Patreon people. So you guys kind of get the extras. Yeah. So you may be wondering why I'm stepping away from the public YouTube. That is one of the videos that I have in the works right now. I have been taking a lot of data from my channel as well as some of my other social media platforms and compiling it for the last, I think it's been 9 months. I don't know if I started it in January or not, but for the most part, I've been collecting some data and wanting to sort of see where I'm going. And the short of it all is that I'm steadily decreasing. I am getting less views. I have less followers. I'm losing subscribers. Like, people aren't interested in what I have to say. So obviously, if you're still here on Patreon, you are interested in what I have to say, which means I will continue to make content for you because you're supporting me and I appreciate that. Other than that, yeah, I think that's it. This week was super chill. I, for some reason, have been like into, while I'm listening to audiobooks and things like that, into watching these like pimple popping videos. It's so gross. It is so gross. But for some reason they keep popping up on my homepage for my YouTube channel, or not for my channel, but for YouTube, you know, the app type thing, the homepage for that, where it shows you things that you may be interested in instead of just the people that you're subscribed to. So yeah, they've been popping up and I'll watch those while I am listening to audiobooks or listening to an ebook for text-to-speech. And I don't know, it's oddly calming. I don't know what it is, but let's get into the books that I did read last week. And you guys, I read 8 books. What is this life? I don't even know. The week started off so good and it just continually got better, and I'm super excited to tell you guys about these books. The first book that I finished was Boomerangers, which is Cajun Girls #1 by Heather M. Orgeron. I am placing this in rom-com. Actually, I think this one is a contemporary. The next one that I'm going to talk about is a rom-com, but they both have lots of funny moments to them. I'm giving this one 4.25 stars. I give it 4 Steam fans. Listen to it as an audiobook. And this is a second chance love story where we have Spencer, is a girl's name. I thought it was a boy's name. It's actually a girl's name. Spencer, who is a sex therapist and mother of 3 twin boys and a single boy that's younger. So she's a mom of the three of them, and she ends up having to move back home to her hometown because the office that she worked for as a sex therapist got shut down, and now she's back in her hometown. And I really loved the banter that the boys ended up having within the story, the kids, and I was just here for it. So Spencer moves back. She also comes to find out her old boyfriend, who they broke up from each other, Cooper, he's actually moved back to town as well. He is a divorced guy that doesn't want kids, but lo and behold, there are some twists and turns within that. They were each other's first love, and then there's this little bit of a parent trap thing that goes along with it. I was here for it. I really enjoyed the story, and the best friend that is in the next book, which is a Doppelbanger, which is Cajun Girls #2 by Heather M. Orgeron, which is a rom-com. This involves her Spencer's best friend. Her name is Gina. I am giving this one 4.5 stars. There was one thing that kind of bothered me about the story, but I will get to that in a second. Give it 5 Steam fans. This book is smoking hot from start to finish. Listen to this one as an audio book as well. And this is a sort of enemies, I guess you could say enemies to lovers sort of story, because we have Gina, who ends up taking Spencer's 3 boys on a cruise. 3 kids on the cruise and stuff like that, where she ends up meeting Jeffrey, who is a dad of 2 girls. Now, I thought there were 3 kids, but I'm coming to find out there may have only been 2 girls that Jeffrey ends up having, but he's a single dad. They end up meeting because Jeffrey's daughter and one of Spencer's twin boys, I believe, end up meeting up and hooking up, doing the whole first crush thing. It was awesome. Boys had a big part in this one. Jeffrey's little girl has a huge part in it, and by the time I got through with this story, I was like, I'm getting another story, right, Heather? I'm like trying to DM her, trying to figure out more, if there's more books coming, because there's a storyline that was just uber cute within the story that I just need to have more of. So Gina and Jeffrey end up, kids are off in the kids area of the ship, so they're like, Gina's a sex therapist as well, and she's like, we can just do this thing, we can live it up. And there is a bit of a sort of a thing that goes along with Gina that may be a content warning or trigger warning. There is some infertility things that are going on. I do appreciate that Heather cleared it up right in the beginning, and that there is no secret pregnancies later on in the book or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about that. Infertility is not all of a sudden, magically disappears or anything. I think Heather did an amazing job at handling all of that as well, but there was that one little thing. And the only thing, I think the thing that turned me off or got the knockdown was that there was a little bit of too much harboring on the dead wife. I think that was my one little turn off. That was just like, I know there's a grieving moments and everything like that, but it was like, that hang up kind of got me just a little bit. The next book that I finished was a blues singer to redeem him by Elle Jackson. I am placing this in historical romance. I give this book 4 stars, give it 2.5 Steam fans. Had this as an arc. It's actually already out, and it's part of my Harlequin project that I am doing. And this is an interracial relationship. So we have Evelyn, who is a jazz singer, blues singer. She has some ties to the Tulsa Massacre. You find that out very early within the story. And then you have Lorenzo, who is a Italian mobster's son, but doesn't want to go into the family, and he wants to kind of do his thing on his own. There is a lot of historical speak when it comes to the Tulsa Massacre, as well as the KKK, and all of the things that go along with Jim Crow and the Jim Crow laws of the South. So that was one of my major sort of down points to it, is that there were some moments within the story that I felt it was a little too heavy for me. And if you guys have been watching my channel at all for how many ever long, you guys know that when it comes to historicals, I need to not feel the blues of it. I need to be able to understand what went on, but at the same time, maybe get a little lesson of history, but I don't need to be bashed over the head about it. I thought that even though this is a short book, because it is a Harlequin historical, I believe it's still within that 250 pages. It felt really, really, really clunky and really kind of long for it to be a Harlequin. I was just like, wow, ooh. So it's going to be very interesting what I come up with to say about this book for the Harlequin Project. But it will always be honest and forthright for the review for that. But I don't really need to give a review, it's just talking about it. But I did enjoy the story. There were some moments in there that I was like, would that actually fit within the times? And I also can't find anything on this author. I believe this is their debut novel, so I don't know if this is someone that is connected within the Black American culture and experience to say either way if this was written out of actual research, or if this was written based off of maybe stereotypical kind of things that went on. So yeah, there's that. And a lot of the sexy times that were happening were quite clinical, and it was just like, it felt really kind of clunky. I'm kind of going on about it, but yeah, there's that. The next book that I finished was A Dragon's Heart, which is Lockhart Highland Dragons. Lockhart Highland number 3. It's one of the books in Jessie Donovan's series. It's a paranormal romance. This is sort of a novella, but not a novella. It's not numbered as a novella, but yeah, it was super short, like super short as an audiobook. I give it 3 stars, give it 2.5 Steam fans. This book, listen to it as an audiobook. This book follows Lorna, who is the mother of some of the dragons that we have met. If you have followed the series, you know who Lorna is. She hasn't used her dragon for a long time. Then we have Ross, who is the human father to one of the Lockhart women that is newly to the Lockhart area, and he had cancer, but he's now in remission, and the two of them, old people getting together. It was cute, but it felt clunky as well. I was just like, and is it really do we have to go on this long about this? And there's a lot of other things that are going along. So if you're not like in the mindset of this world of dragons, to remember that this person goes with this story and this person goes with that story, and this storyline goes here, and this couple is here, and this couple is there, then it's like, what am I reading and why did I read it? So there's that. The next book that I finished was Not So Charming, which is Carlisle Sellers, book number 1 by Fabiola Francisco. Place this in contemporary. Give it 4.5 stars. Give it 3.5 Steam fans. I had this as an ARC. It released last week. I really tried to get it in because I had a little bit of a short turnaround on this one, and we'll have a short turnaround on this whole entire series. But I'm so excited to read it because it's so much fun. You have June, who has the nickname of Junebug, and she moves back to town and needs a job because she's trying to like figure out what her life should be now. She is this big old book nerd, and love her. She sort of has this ugly duckling sort of feel with the town, and it's labeled as a hate to lover story. But I think it's more like a hate for the city and the little town, small town that they lived in. That it's not that they hate each other. June and Miles. It's that they had sort of this disconnect when they were in high school and kids. There's a secret crush that goes on. Miles ends up hiring June as his assistant, or as an assistant to the winery, to the family winery. That's what it is. And Miles is one of the brothers for the winery. And then Fabiola throws in a little bit of suspense towards the end of the book, and I was like, oh yes, we have 2 other siblings. We have an older brother with 2 little girls. So the little girls, the nieces, are involved in the story. Really loved them throughout the story as well. They were super sweet. There were so many swoony moments of this book. I actually marked them in the book because I was like, ooh, gotta remember that line, or oop, I gotta remember that line to tell Fabiola. That was just like, oh, melt my heart. So swoony, so sexy. The 2 of them, their chemistry is so off the charts. You just know that they're gonna get together, and you're just like pushing for them, kind of like the town is. And there's some family secrets that are there, and I just really, really, really enjoyed this story, and I cannot wait to get to the other 2 books within this series. The next book that I finished was Mr. McHottie, which is the girl band #1 by Pippa Grant. Place this in rom-com, give it 4.5 stars, give it 4.5 Steam fans. Whoo, buddy! Listen to it as an audiobook, and I found this book off of TikTok because Pippa Grant does these amazing, super funny, uber so funny TikToks. And one of her TikToks was talking about this glitter bomb. So I was like, I need to know about this glitter bomb. So I looked on my Hoopla, and you know what? My Hoopla ended up having these books. So I picked up this book. I devoured this book in one day. Practically one sitting, and definitely had some moments where I was glad I didn't have anything in my mouth because I would have spit it out from laughing. Glad I didn't have any, trying to eat anything because I would have choked. So we have Ambrosia, who goes by Sia, and then we have Chase, who is this billionaire CEO of who just bought Sia's company. So Sia is a social media manager for this hoity-toity sort of organic grocery store, and Chase comes in and buys it. They have a past, and Sia has these brothers that are absolutely hilarious. The reason I did knock it down was because there was, I didn't really like the representation of the brothers in this story, but I have a feeling that I learned more about that, or I could learn more about that, because this story is intertwined within a whole lot of other books that Pippa Grant has written. So now I have to sort of unpack everything, figure out which books I actually need to read, where I actually should have started with this series, and then go from there. The next book that I finished was In Harmony, which is Back on Top, #3 by JN Walsh. Place this in contemporary. Give it 3 stars. Give it 4 Steam fans. Read it as an ebook. This is part of my Harlequin project. Oh, excuse me. This is a Black author. Also, it deals heavily in the EDM or electric dance music scene. So if that is not your scene, this may not be the book for you. So we have Naya, also known as Queen Row, and then we have Tommy, who is also known as Boombox. He is an agent. She is a daytime or undercover DJ. She also has a famous DJ dad. She bombed really bad when she was younger, so she kind of keeps her 2 personas separate. And this book just, I don't know what. It bordered on being super interesting and involving and wanting to know more about Naya and Tommy, but I didn't feel their connection. Naya reluctantly allows Tommy to manage and agent her, but then he falls through the crack. He starts like bobbling things. He gets her on a cruise ship to get her on stage and, you know, to work, because after something ends up messing up and she gets a suspension from her classical side of her life. And it was kind of a jumble. Then the sexy times were sexy, but at the same time were very clinical in some ways, and I was just like, ah. And then it were too overly descriptive, telling me about things that I really don't need to know about, in uber description. I'm like, I don't care what the name of her outfit or the pieces from her outfit or what she ate or anything like that. It was just really, really weird for me. It wasn't a bad book, but it wasn't like tops. There's someone that's going to enjoy it. I will say that. Then the final book that I finished last week was Stud in the Stacks, The Girl Band #2 by Pippa Grant, placing this one in rom-com as well. Give this one 4.25 stars. Give it 4.5 Steam fans, because this one was steamy too. Whew! Pippa Grant does some seriously amazing steaminess. Woo! Got this one on audiobook. Listen to it. This is a fake fiance situation. So we have Knox, who is a male librarian. He also moonlights as Mr. Romance on his personal blog, and he ends up sort of cursing out a editor or a story writer, a journalist, what have you, on his blog, and gets in trouble. So he needs a fiance. Then we have Parker, who we met in book #1, who has now been promoted to VP of marketing. Is it marketing? I think it is marketing. She's been promoted to VP of marketing, and she wants to go back to her high school reunion and sort of be on top, because she has some secrets and some people she needs to impress. And it starts us off at a bachelor auction where Parker is dressed up. I'm sorry, not Parker. Knox is dressed up like Tarzan. Loincloth. That's it. So there's also a bit of an age gap that goes on, because Parker used to babysit Knox. And that is where sort of we started to lose a little bit of the stars, is because Knox continually throughout the entire story, I know it was like a joke when they were kids and everything like that, but would refer to her as Parker something, what have you, like a James Bond thing, like James Bond. So he would say like Parker, blah, 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 Parker. And it just kind of got a little overwhelming for me. And it happened all the way through the story. So there was that. Then the other thing, what was the other thing? I can't remember what the other thing is right now, but it was super minor. But the sexy times were mwah, so good. Oh, so good. So good. Go read this. I can't wait to get to the other 2 books. And then there was the introduction of Parker's brothers and stuff like that. I was like, oh yes, I cannot wait to finish this series out. I think it's going to be amazing. So what am I currently reading? Because I'm looking at my time and I have been long-winded in this video today. So what am I currently reading? I am currently reading The Perfect Ruin by Shanora Williams. This is supposed to be a thriller, and I'm excited to read it. I'm also reading Wanting Mr. Kane by Shanora Williams. This was on last week's list of things to read. I didn't get a chance to, but this week I will be, as well as Keenly Bitten by Lexi C. Foss on last week's, but we'll be getting to it this week. I didn't put out the polls yet. I don't even know if you guys want me to put out the polls, but the 3 books that I've chosen for the possible buddy read is It Happens One Summer by Tessa Bailey, Insatiable Lover by Krystyna Allyn, and Silent Waters by Brittainy C. Cherry, because this has been all over TikTok. I have not actually read 2 books in this Element series, and this happens to be one of them, and I want an emotional book right now. So, all 3 of those will get read in September, but you guys can choose which one you want to read with me. I'll put the poll up, and you know, let me know in the comments of that poll if you guys even want to do a Zoom meeting or not. But like I said in the beginning of this video, the public sort of YouTube side of it, I'm really kind of stepping away from that for a while, just to take a break, probably for the last quarter of the year. I don't know exactly how long it's going to be, but other than that, thank you guys for hanging with me. You guys are amazing. I greatly appreciate you guys. And I look forward to hearing your feedback on the other videos that you guys will get to see before everybody else. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in another video.